So we're going to make some delicious raw foods today over here on the Tribest stage. I'm Chef Jenny Ross from 118 Degrees. We have a chain of restaurants on the West Coast in California. And I'm so excited to be here with you today, sharing a little bit about the Sedona Dehydrator and some of the blenders manufactured by Tribest. We have a brand new book today, Simply Dehydrated. If you stick around to the end of the talk, we'll be giving some of them away. And I'm just really excited to share these with you today because these are some of my favorite recipes from the book. We're going to start today by making a delicious cacao pumpkin seed bar. And one of the things that I absolutely love about food dehydrating and the Sedona Dehydrator is you can really work to get all of those preservatives and things you don't really need in your food out. And everything we do in here can be completely functional, yet still delicious, and that's the exciting part about it. So whenever I'm sharing with clients and friends that are dealing with food allergies or looking to make a lifestyle change, I always recommend that they start looking at dehydrating. So at 118 we make a lot of different things in the dehydrator. We make coconut wraps, we make crackers like these here that we use for our nachos. We make dessert bars, we make lasagnas, we make apple cobbler, a lot of different fun things. So today we're going to get started by just making a basic cacao pumpkin seed bar. This could be taken as a snack on the go, or you can use it for breakfast item, you can use it in the afternoon or as a dessert. So it's a really great high energy snack, and it's made just using a couple of simple pieces of equipment and some pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are very high in protein. In fact, they're a great alternative for people who have possibly nut allergies and things like that. A lot of times I hear clients say, oh, I can't do raw foods because I can't eat nuts. And oftentimes I really recommend that they go ahead and use pumpkin seeds because they're about 22 grams of protein per serving. It's a good shot of protein. And today we have some fun ingredients in here with this. So I just have my pumpkin seeds, and I really need to grind them down to a meal. So this is sometimes something that I do on Sundays or my prep day at the beginning of the week, and it just saves me a little bit of time. But we're just going to grind them fresh today using the Dynablend blender, and we're just going to do about 2 cups at a time because we don't want it to turn into a butter. This is a very powerful blender, and a really great introduction into a living foods lifestyle is to get a blender along these lines that you can make sauces and spreads and things with. Really great go-to item for your kitchen. When I was first doing living in raw foods, a high-powered blender was key to my success. So really important to start looking at that for yourself and for your clients. So this one in particular has a lot of great features. I love the glass canister. Of course, it's really just really nice when you're talking about health to be working with glass. And then it has a really fun utility scoop that makes getting underneath the blades a lot easier, and you'll see when we grind this up what a difference that can make. And then of course, you know, we have a really nice lid with a hole in the center so we can add things while we're blending. This works really nicely to emulsify vegetable purees and things like that. If you add the oil at the end, it's a nice little tip to get a nice emulsified blend that will sit nicely in the refrigerator for a couple of days. So basically we're just going to grind this up. We're using this to just grind these seeds. We're just going to get a meal from these pumpkin seeds. Now when you do this, these will last about 2 to 3 days in your pantry and maintain all that enzyme content, which is what we're always looking for with living foods. That's why living foods is so healing for the body, is, you know, you have all the rich nutrients and the enzyme content. So I'm just going to let it go until it's fairly well blended. And this machine is brand new, the Dynablend, and it's just a great companion in the kitchen. I really recommend it for all my new clients, and you know, it just really transforms what goes on in the kitchen when you start making your own sauces and spreads and pulses and meals like this. And so basically you'll see how great this scoop is. I can just get right in there and scoop all of that meal right on out. And this is perfect for a bar because we want it to have a little bit of a consistency, some weight to it. We don't want it to be thin like a wrap or a cracker per se. And that's perfect. I've got a really nice meal to work with. And now I'm going to go ahead and run over to my personal blender, and this is really my go-to piece of equipment for sauces and quick items that I want to just stock my pantry with. So with Living Foods, I love it because, you know, you can feel really great about eating dessert first, and you can eat dessert for a snack or a breakfast. It's basically the same stuff, right? So today this is going to be a really high protein snack, and we're going to add to it a raw chocolate sauce. And this is one that I keep in the pantry all the time. It works wonders because my husband, you know, he's a sweet snacker, and he'll just grab some fresh fruit and dip it in the chocolate sauce, and I don't have to worry about him going to maybe other things that wouldn't be so good for him. So I've got the raw agave here, and that's what I'm going to use today. This also works with raw honey, or you can combine apple juice and stevia and do something similar, although the consistency will be a little bit different. And with the raw agave, I'm just going to add to it some raw cacao powder. And you can see how in your kitchen, when you have a couple of these pieces of equipment lined up, you can really interchangeably use them. So this utility scoop is 1 tablespoon, and it's a great measuring device, so I'm not having to get so many different things dirty in the kitchen. And I'm sort of a shortcut chef, so I like that. I appreciate that feature. And I'm just going to add 4 tablespoons of raw cacao to this agave. I've got 1.25 cups of the agave in there. And then of course I'm going to need a little bit of sea salt to help separate those incredible flavors. And that's an important thing. Once I do that, you'll see I'll have this really beautiful blend that's rich and creamy, actually. You can use it as a frosting. So it's a great alternative to, you know, some of the other sauces that you see out there. And I have my sea salt. Just give a little bit of dash of sea salt to this. Now, with sea salt, even in living foods, you know, everything is completely functional. So we have 133 trace minerals just from our sea salt alone. So it's a big thing, you know, when spices become functional for the body. So this is something that I love about living foods, because there's absolutely nothing that doesn't do something for your body in the living foods diet. And again, it's what makes it such a powerful catalyst for change and healing. So you can see how quickly this is going to blend this sauce up, and I love it because I can just store it right in this container in the refrigerator. I don't even need to transfer it. They make great lids, and actually you can get a set that's a mason jar attachment, so if you prefer glass, you can use those with the personal blender. This is one I like to travel with as well. It's very easy to take on the road, and it's great for kids because there's nothing in there that they can get their fingers or hands stuck on. So I can just use this with my son, and he can do this sauce on his own now. He's only 5, believe it or not. And my daughter, who's a lot younger, she comes making a beeline for the raw chocolate sauce across the kitchen. So this has made our family a lot healthier. And a lot of the parents that I speak with and talk to, they share about these living foods. Now you see how this is really just basically done. And it's just a nice thick chocolate sauce. And what we're going to do for this particular recipe is combine the two to make our bar. So we have this really basic mixture. And before I add the chocolate sauce, I mean, you can see how creamy that is. I don't know if you can see how just easy it is to do that, right? We could add a little coconut oil to it if we want more body, but once we put this in the refrigerator, because of all the fats that are already in the raw cacao, it'll set up nice and thick. So this is actually spreadable once it's cold, so that's kind of fun. So once we have this ready and we've got this base ready, I'm going to add some spices. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. It's my secret go-to spice, okay? Don't tell anyone. Because it's full of cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger and cardamom and clove, and I don't have to get out 4 different containers. I can just have the 1 spice. So it actually saves me a lot of time in the kitchen. And now I have just a sprinkling, basically 1 teaspoon of sea salt that I want to add to that mixture. I'm going to use my utility scoop again and just scoop it right around in the bowl. So easy. And this recipe is available in Simply Dehydrated, and when we were writing that book, it was so fun testing all these great recipes. And really our goal was to make them, you know, as easy as possible, because a lot of times people consider changing their diets, and when a recipe has too many ingredients or too many steps, it's a lot harder to actually make it work, you know. So we're always interested in helping people make that step. And so on our website, on Tribest.com, and also on our YouTube channel, we have a lot of these videos, these how-to videos. So if you're looking at these pieces of equipment for your own self or also for your clients, you can direct them there. So, you know, the lifestyle and the education are a big part of what we're doing over at Tribest. And it's an important part of making the lifestyle accessible. So what's really important about this cacao pumpkin seed bar is to add the sauce slowly so that you don't have a mixture that's too wet. And that's the important thing, to get it in the dehydrator the way we want it. We want to make sure that we're looking at that. So we'll go ahead and now add a little bit more, and we'll just keep adding a little bit at a time until it's well combined. You could also do this in a food processor if you'd like. The reason that I don't do mine in the food processor is I like the body. When I do it in the food processor, it gets to be more of a cream and it's less body. So for the bars, because I like to throw them in my purse and run with them, I like to get that extra quick shot of protein. I'm really careful about that. Now with these, I'm going to show you another secret special trick that I do, because I find that desserts and snacks and things that are sweet are a great place to hide superfoods. So I like to add my super greens to this, I add my hemp seeds to this, or even a little bit of maca root, especially with the cacao. Maca root makes a really nice, almost caramel flavor to the bar. So I'm going to add a little bit of that in right now. Maca root's just a great adaptogen, you know, it really helps the body process things, and it can really give you energy when you need energy or help relax you. So it's one that we use for clients, especially when they're trying to move away from coffee in the morning. And this is just a pure raw maca root, and gives you great energy. And this is, especially when it's combined with chocolate, a great use for really creative people. I could tell you that from personal use. So this mixture can be rolled just as it is, raw. Once you have the extra superfoods, you can even take a scoop of it and just roll it in maybe hemp seeds or something like that. You don't have to dehydrate it, but when you dehydrate it, you get a very nice bar, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're basically, you know, when we would finish this step at the restaurant, we serve this as part of our detox program. We have a 7-day detox program that people can come and get all their food for 7 days and try out the lifestyle. This is one of our snack items that we include on that set, on that meal program. And then what I do is I basically just scoop this on out. I'm just going to give you a little demo, which is press it straight out onto the nonstick sheet. So any type of nonstick sheet will do, although I prefer those that are a little bit more firm for this bar because of the weight of the bar. And once you press it out, you can mold it into any shape. So this is where it becomes really fun with kids. You know, you can use cookie cutters and make hearts or stars, whatever they enjoy. My son likes dinosaurs, so we have a lot of dinosaur cookie cutters at home. And then also you can just roll it out and do a whole flat tray and cut it down into bars. So it can be as fast and easy as you want to make it. So really it's a 5-minute recipe. If you weren't doing all this talking, you would have had it done, you know, minutes ago. So once you have that on there, then I like to garnish it with additional superfoods. So I would go ahead and put some more pumpkin seeds right on the top for color, because they are quite colorful and the green is really nice. And especially during the holiday season, you know, little hints like that will make a big difference in how customers perceive the final product. So once we do something like that, we would slide it into the dehydrator, and we would dehydrate it for about 6 hours, which gives it a really nice, almost cake-like texture, and make sure that it's not sticky at all. And like I said, you don't have to take that step, but if you do, you'll see that it's a really nice product. And I have some examples already done for you to see. Let's go ahead and get some fresh ones out for you. So one of the things that I like to do with these, once they're done, is pull them out and cut them down into slices, almost like a biscotti, because they pair nicely with coffee and tea and things like that, or they make a great dip. You know, you can dip it right into additional chocolate sauce and have that extra pop of flavor. So once they're done, this is the difference. You know, they really dry out and they become a really nice, easy grab-and-go snack. So what we'll do today is cut these down for you to try and pass them around with a little bit of that chocolate sauce so that you can enjoy a little bit of the cacao pumpkin seed bars. Now, like I said before, a full serving of these is only 1/4 of a bar. So that's about this size right here. And that's 22 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein in a very small package. So a lot of times when people are doing living foods or raw foods as a new diet, they're very concerned, where's my protein going to come from? I love this one. It's like my secret weapon for that. And also for athletes and things like that that need a higher level of protein, pumpkin seeds are a great go-to, and it's worked very well for a lot of the athletes we work with. So we'll go ahead and cut these down and throw these into some cups for you. Now, one of the things about working with the Sedona Dehydrator when you're doing snacks like this, a lot of times people ask me, is it okay to combine savory and sweet foods in there all at once? And I say absolutely. We have a dual fan feature in here that makes it very easy to control the temperatures and also what's going on the interior of the dehydrator. It's the first dehydrator of its kind that has that as an option. And so we'll just want to make sure, if you would like to try any additional chocolate sauce, it's right here. You can just pour a little bit over the side or the top. And another thing thing that's really a nice feature about this Sedona that I found when working with it at the restaurant is I used to fill my other dehydrators up with all wraps or all cookies because I was really having a hard time getting consistent results from what was inside. With the Sedona, you have such great control between the temperatures and the fans. I can get a consistent product no matter what's in there. So now I can combine wraps and desserts and granolas all in one dehydrator with great results. So it's a very, very nice tool, especially for yourself and clients looking to transition their diet. So we've done this book, Simply Dehydrated, to help get you started, and we're gonna give away a couple of those copies at the end of my talk here in just a few minutes. And one of the things that we were testing when we were doing that book were all these great features of the dehydrator. So holding the temperature was a big one with the other dehydrators we had used. And we found that the Sedona consistently held the right temperature. In fact, it's got some temperature gauges inside that will actually shut it off if it's going too high. So you really want to be partnered with a dehydrator that can really support your health through these simple things, making it easy, right? Because the easier it is, the more you're likely to do it, and that's the point, you know? And so one thing we found with the new Sedona combo is it has a great feature that allows you to go from high to back to a raw setting with just the push of a button. And when you're dehydrating, it's really important that you start on high with certain things like tomatoes and red bell peppers that are quick fermenters, and we talk a lot about that in the book. Safe dehydrating is a really important thing to understand. So when we're using those, we'll for the first 4 hours have it on the fast setting, and then we'll drop it down to the raw setting. So that way we maintain all the enzymes, we also make sure we don't develop any bacteria. So it's an important thing to consider when you're dehydrating. Another really nice aspect of this is that all the trays, everything in here is BPA free. So we, really focus on making sure that in your cooking equipment and in your cooking methods, you're not adding any toxins to your diet and lifestyle. That's what this is all about, is really detoxing the body. So between, all of these different components, we can really detox the body and end up with a really healthy, cumulative health. Oh yeah, absolutely.